Here some people may object to the above view of this writer by presenting the case of Fatima bint Qais. It is narrated that her husband Abu Amr had already divorced her twice. Then when he was sent to Yemen with Ali radhiyallahu anhu, he sent her the third divorce pronouncement as well. During her iddat, when she demanded residence and maintenance, the relatives of the husband refused this demand. At this, she came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who decided that she has neither the right to be given residence nor any maintenance. Muslim, Al-Jami as-Sahih, page 639, Hadith numbers 3697 and 3698. The above referred to narrative is quoted in some books of Hadith, but it is evident from certain other narratives that when her case was presented before the Caliph Umar radhiyallahu anhu, he too refused her demand by saying that he could not accept the verdict of a lady which is against the Book of God and the Sunnah of his Prophet. When in the time of Marwan ibn Hakam this case once again came into discussion, Aisha radhiyallahu anha severely criticized this narrative. Qasim ibn Muhammad inquired from Aisha radhiyallahu anha, "Are you not aware of the case of Fatima bint Qais?" She replied, "It is better if you do not mention her name." In another narrative, Aisha's words are, "What has happened to Fatima? Does she not fear God?" A third narrative is from Urwa ibn Zubair. He says that Aisha said, "Nothing will benefit Fatima if she narrates this hadith." In still another narrative, Urwa says that Aisha radhiyallahu anha expressed her anger for Fatima and said, "She was in an empty house where none whom she knew lived, and hence the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for her own protection, had directed her to change her residence." This is the real background of the narrative. Hence, no one should consider it worthy of any importance. Besides the above mentioned directives, the Almighty has given a further directive in Surah Baqarah that no lady should try to conceal her pregnancy during her iddat. It has been indicated a number of times earlier that the very directive to observe the iddat has been given for ascertaining whether a lady is pregnant or not. Consequently, it is an essential outcome of this directive, and the Almighty has forcefully directed us to observe it. The Quran says, وَالْمُطَلَّقَاتُ يَتَرَبَّصْنَ بِأَنفُسِهِنَّ ثَلَاثَةَ قُرُوءٍ وَلَا يَحِلُّ لَهُنَّ أَن يَكْتُمْنَ مَا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ فِي أَرْحَامِهِنَّ إِن كُنَّ يُؤْمِنَّ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. And divorced women must keep themselves waiting for 3 menstrual courses. And it is unlawful for them, if they believe in God and the last day, to hide what He has created in their wombs. Surah number 2, verse 228. Part 4. After divorce. Once the divorce is materialized, one issue that can become a source of dispute is suckling of young children. In the under discussion verses of Surah Talaq, the Almighty has said that if their mother is willing to suckle them, then the husband shall pay for this service, and this remuneration shall be ascertained through mutual consultation and in a befitting manner. If such an agreement is not reached between the parents, then according to the Quran, any woman can be asked to suckle the children. It is also told that a rich person should spend according to his means and resources, and a poor one according to his. Neither is it permitted for the rich person to deal with others in a manner that is below his status, nor should a poor person be burdened beyond his means. The Almighty holds a person responsible to obey His directives according to his capacity and status. In Surah Baqarah, this directive has been mentioned in detail in the following words. وَالْوَالِدَاتُ يُرْضِعْنَ أَوْلَادَهُنَّ حَوْلَيْنِ كَامِلَيْنِ لِمَنْ أَرَادَ أَنْ يُتِمَّ الرَّضَاعَ وَعَلَى الْمَوْلُودِ لَهُ رِزْقُهُنَّ وَكِسْوَتُهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ لَا تُكَلَّفُ نَفْسٌ إِلَّا وُسْعَهَا لَا تُضَارَّ وَالِدَةٌ بِوَلَدِهَا وَلَا مَوْلُودٌ لَهُ بِوَلَدِهِ وَعَلَى الْوَارِثِ مِثْلُ ذَلِكَ فإن أراد فصالا عن تراض منهما وتشاور فلا جناح عليهما وإن أردتم أن تسترضعوا أولادكم فلا جناح عليكم إذا سلمتم ما آتيتم بالمعروف واتقوا الله واعلموا أن الله بما تعملون بصير. And after divorce also, mothers shall suckle their offspring for 2 whole years for those who desire to complete the term. And the child's father in such a case shall have to bear the cost of their food and clothing according to the norms. No one should be burdened beyond his capacity. Neither shall the mother be treated unfairly because of her child, nor the father on account of his child. And his heir shall be accountable in the same way. But if they both decide on weaning by mutual consent and after due consultation, there is no blame on them. And if you decide to engage someone else to suckle your offspring, there is no blame on you, provided you pay the mother in accordance with the norms of the society what you promised. And fear God, and know that God sees well what you do. Surah number 2, verse 223. Imam Amin Ehsan Islahi, while summarizing the directives of suckling that these verses mention, writes, 1. It is the responsibility of a divorced lady to suckle her offspring for 2 full years in case the husband wants her to complete the total suckling period. 2. During this period, it is the responsibility of the father to provide his divorced wife with food and clothing, keeping in view the norms of the society. In other words, the status of the husband, the needs of the divorced wife, and her own status shall be kept in consideration while providing her this maintenance. 3. Neither of the parties shall be burdened beyond their capacity. Neither the mother shall be harmed in any way by taking advantage of the fact that she is the mother of the child, nor the father be unduly pressurized in any way on the pretext that he is the father of the child. 4. If the father of the child is dead, his heirs will be responsible for all the above-mentioned rights and obligations. 5. If through mutual consent and consultation, the estranged husband and wife decide to terminate the suckling period before 2 years, they can do so. 6. If the child's father, or in his absence, the heirs of the child want to suckle the child through some other lady instead of the mother, they are authorized to do so, provided what has been agreed with the mother regarding her maintenance is fully honored. Amin Ehsan Islahi, Tadabbur-e-Quran, Volume 1, page 545. The second thing which can become a source of dispute is the husband's attitude of hindering further marriage of his former wife. This attitude, whether in the form of open forbiddance on his part or in the form of covert and stealthy schemes, has been strictly prohibited by the Almighty in Surah Baqarah. He has counseled people that once a lady has been divorced, her former husband has no right to cause hindrance in any decision she makes. She has the liberty to marry whoever and whenever she wants. If her decision to marry is in accordance with the norms of the society, it cannot be objected to in any way. The Quran uses the word al-ma'ruf to convey this meaning. This word implies that though a man and a woman are totally free to take their decision, they must remember not to do anything that is against the norms of decency and which may damage the honor and repute of the former or future husband or of the family of the woman herself. The Quran says, وَإِذَا طَلَّقْتُمُ النِّسَاءَ فَبَلَغْنَ أَجَلَهُنَّ فَلَا تَعْضُلُوهُنَّ أَن يَنكِحْنَ أَزْوَاجَهُنَّ إِذَا تَرَاضَوْا بَيْنَهُم بِالْمَعْرُوفِ ذَلِكَ يُوعَظُ بِهِ مَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ ذَلِكُمْ أَزْكَى لَكُمْ وَأَطْهَرُ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And when you have divorced your wives and they have reached the end of their waiting period, do not prevent them from marrying their future husbands if they have come to an agreement according to the norms of decency. These words of advice are given to every one of you who believes in God and the last day. This is more decent for you and more chaste. And in reality, God knows, but you do not. Surah number 2, verse 232. While explaining the last part of the verse, Imam Amin Ehsan Islahi writes, These sound words of advice are being given to those who believe in God and the last day. In other words, those who have belief in God and the last day should follow what is being advised, since this is the outcome of true belief. Such an attitude is more pure and seemly. If a lady is impeded in any way to remarry, this may result in great evils in the family and society. It is from here that back doors to clandestine relations, fornication, hijack, and escaping are opened, eventually bringing greater disrepute to those whose false pride induces them to obstruct natural emotions through worthless customs. The Quranic words, "And God knows, but you do not," at the end imply that man's knowledge and vision is very limited. He cannot fully grasp the ups and downs of life. Therefore, he should follow what the Almighty is directing him to do. Amin Hasan Islahi, Volume 1, page 544. Besides the above-mentioned two issues, a third matter that can cause dissension between the divorced couple is the custody of children. The Shariah has not given any directive in this regard because this matter can only be decided keeping in view the welfare of the children and the circumstances of the parents, which of course vary a lot. However, those in authority can obtain a lot of guidance in this regard from the various cases decided by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Following is an account of some of them. Abdullah ibn Umar Raziyallahu anhu narrates that a lady came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, "For this son of mine, it is only my belly which was his abode, and my breasts which were his vessel, and my lap which was his dwelling place. Now his father has divorced me and wants to take him away from me." The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, "You are more entitled to keep him until you marry again." Abu Dawud, Sunan, Volume 2, page 292, Hadith number 2276. Abu Huraira Raziyallahu anhu narrates that in his presence once a lady came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I heard her saying, "My husband wants to take away from me this child, even though he has brought over water for me from the wealth of Abu Amba and given me a lot of benefit." The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, "Both of you can cast a lot on this." Upon hearing this, the husband said, "Who will quarrel with me regarding this son of mine?" The Prophet asserted, "O son, this is your father and this is your mother. Grasp the hand of the one you want to hold." The child grasped the mother's hand and she took him away. Abu Dawud, Sunan, Volume 2, page 292, Hadith number 2277.